Right. I'm off to deal with the fate of the planet. Be gentle with them.
Oh, you know me, Mark. Kid gloves, but made from real kids.
So, after I watched Deadpool and Wolverine, I have some critique points that I want to list. And while I found much to appreciate about the film, I had mixed feelings about the Deadpool character himself. Despite laughing at some of his quips, I often found myself groaning moments later. Like, one moment I was laughing, the next moment I was like, continue, please shut up. Anyway, the central issue is Ryan Reynolds, who's like a self-proclaimed Deadpool fan and whose involvement in this trilogy feels more and more like a vanity project. Many scenes are dominated by his over-cripping, which in my opinion often crosses the line from humorous to obnoxious. Just so many ad-libs, and I thought Marvel would do more to rein in their control and not give him so much freedom, but whatever. While this tendency was present in the previous two films, it wasn't as problematic, I believe, and because of this over-cripping style contrasted with the darker or more serious moments of the story, this creates like a tonal dissonance, especially in scenes where you are meant to take him seriously. For instance, there's this big scene when Wolverine delivers a powerful "the reason you suck" speech to Deadpool, and the moment is intended to evoke empathy for Deadpool. However, this falls flat as Deadpool quickly reverts to this haha funny mode immediately afterwards, and I was more like on a Wolverine side on this argument. Now, the following fight scene is pretty cool. I have to admit it just wasn't aligning with the movie's goal at that point, I believe. Now, one of the things I love about Deadpool in the comics isn't just his costume, combat skills, or his humor, it's the tragic awareness of his existence in a fictional world. Despite knowing the terrible things happening to him still have a profound impact, and he uses humor mostly as a facade. You can see that in the Gary Dugan run, for example. But this nuanced aspect of his personality was kind of there in the first film, but has been largely absent ever since. On a positive note, Emma Corrin's portrayal of Cassandra Nova was outstanding. From the look to the costume and acting, it felt like it was lifted straight from the comics. The film also serves as a love letter to the smaller, often forgotten parts of the Marvel Universe. Seeing Elektra and Blade, played by the original actors Jennifer Garner and Wesley Snipes, was a delightful surprise. Blade in particular holds a special place, not just for me, but also in the Marvel Universe, because he practically ushered in the modern era of superhero films. While the Daredevil film, I liked it a lot, mostly the costume, I think it's amazing. And in the 2003 film and Elektra film, not so keen about it. They had their flaws, but their inclusion here felt like a nod to the fans who appreciated those films. Like I just said, for example, me, I appreciated the Daredevil film a lot, despite changing quite a few stuff from the comics back then. But back then it also felt like necessary changes. Now, I initially feared that characters like Elektra, Blade, Gambit, and X-23 would receive the same treatment as X-Force in Deadpool 2, but fortunately this wasn't not the case. The more I think about it, the more I would love to see a Thunderbolt-style team with these characters in the comics. The film is filled with numerous cameos, including the original Sabretooth actor from X-Men 2000, Kelly Hu as Lady Deathstrike, although you wouldn't know it because her face is never shown in the film. Pyro from X-Men 2, X-Men United, whatever you want to call the second film, and Azazel from X-Men First Class, surprisingly. I don't know the actor of Azazel, but special commendation to the actor playing him, because for such a small role, he got into the whole makeup process, and yeah, that's commendable. The emotional beats involving Wolverine were well executed, and Hugh Jackman seems more at home in the role than ever. it feels basically, at this point, it's like a second skin for Hugh Jackman to slip into the Wolverine role, I believe, just because he has been doing that for so long. And lastly, the action scenes were quite impressive and didn't feel overly sanitized by Disney's influence. Overall, I would rate Deadpool and Wolverine, if I had to give a rating, like between a 7.6 and an 8 out of 10. The number constantly floats between there, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I hope you liked this video, and we see us in the next one, whenever that one comes out.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Well, the books are full of words that you read, and the show gets me paid